Hi everyone, it's Lynn here from Inside Knowledge. This is the first video in the second series. So I created a mini series of 5 videos that I released last week, and they relate to my first course, Embodied Resilience, Breath and Body, which talks a lot about mindful movement within the yoga tradition, breath work and meditation. This week I'm going to talk about physical well-being, which is the subject of my second course in Embodied Resilience. And a lot of people are surprised that I teach physical well-being, so diet, exercise, sleep, hormones within a course on resilience. A lot of people don't relate physical health to resilience, but I think all of us know that if you're not well, if you're in pain, if you're sick, if you're run down, it's very difficult to be resilient at those times, and there definitely are people that can pull it off, but they're pretty much masters of resilience. So it makes sense to take care of yourself. So the first course was very much about getting in touch with your body and tuning into your body, and the second course is very much about nurturing your body and taking care of it, looking after it, supporting it so it can support you. Because I think if you've watched the previous videos, you'll understand how important I consider the body to be, the relationship we have with our bodies in terms of building our resilience and our general well-being. So obviously the course talks about the kinds of foods that are good for you or better for you, but primarily we focus on the way you eat. So we talk about intuitive eating, we talk about your relationship with your body, and we talk about eating things that you love. We talk about learning to know what your hunger cues are, learning to know what foods work for you by simply experimenting and observing and taking your time. And really it's all about gaining back the confidence that a lot of us have lost because we've been exposed to so many different messages over the years about what constitutes a healthy diet and what doesn't. And it seems that every week it changes. Everyone seems to be arguing about it, and that can be difficult. So we teach the basics of healthy eating, but we do talk more about the techniques behind it. But what I want to talk about today is a different form of nutrition, and I consider it nutrition for the brain. And it's not food, it's actually the information that we take in, that we expose ourselves to, the forms of media, the kinds of movies we watch, the kinds of TV shows we follow, the kinds of books we read, the internet sites we go to. I remember when I just started high school, my friends and I were reading Stephen King's It, about the very, very scary clown. And I know it's recently been made into a movie. I can't even watch the trailer, it's too frightening. And I remember my teacher at the time saying, well, do you know your subconscious doesn't know the difference between fiction and non-fiction, and you're actually terrorizing yourselves. It thinks it's real. And that has sort of stuck with me. I don't know if I entirely believe it, but I think we all know that whatever you're watching has an impact on your emotions to a certain extent. And even more so in this day and age where we have so much information coming at us that we have to become real ninjas in terms of filtering out that information and trying to only let in those things that we know are good for us and that are uplifting and are inspiring. Now, I do bang on about this a lot. If you know me, you'll know I go on and on about television and what you watch. And I know it can be tedious and it can sound a bit high-minded, but I'm just going to tell you what works for me, and you can do what works for you. I stopped watching TV about 6 years ago. I don't have the means to watch television. I don't have a connection. And I did that because I'd been overseas, so I'd got out of the habit of watching TV in my own country. And when I came back, I just didn't bother getting the connection. Because I find with TV is I tend to just turn it on to fill in time, to distract me, and I don't plan what I'm watching. I just kind of watch what's on and then go on to the next show. And it just wasn't working for me. So I got rid of TV. And I actually go to the library and I rent DVDs. And what I like about that is I'm a little bit more discerning. So I will say, well, this week, these are the kinds of shows I'm going to watch. It's not sort of reactive. It's not based on how I feel on the day or on the night or on the minute. It's what I decide. And at the moment, I'm watching real wholesome family movies because that's what I feel like consuming. It's probably in response to some of the things on the news. So, I recommend that. And the other thing I do, which is a bit mad, is I do have a streaming service. We call it Lightbox in New Zealand, but it's similar to Netflix. And I only watch it on my phone. I don't have a smart TV, and I have a little tripod, and I watch it on my phone, and that sort of stops me from binge watching because it's not an all-consuming activity. So there you go. There's just a few thoughts for you to consider, what kind of information you're letting into your life on a regular basis and what sort of effect it's having on you. Do an experiment, watch your favourite show, see how you feel before, see how you feel after, and just try and be a little more discerning about what you listen to, what you consume, if in fact it is affecting you at an emotional level. Thanks so much.